Hello guys, I am Umair Nazim and welcome to Let's Code. In the previous video, I showed you what are the methods in Java and what are the benefits. But in today's tutorial, I will teach you how to write the arrays in Java and why they are important. So without wasting any time, let me show you with a practical example and with an explanation. The first thing I want to explain that what are the arrays and why we use them. So in the previous, if you remember, we create some variables and we store the data in that variables. But for example, if we are dealing with an integer, we create a variable and we can store just one value in one variable. But in arrays, actually, array allows the user to store multiple values within an array. So in one array, you can store the values, for example, up to 10 characters, up to 10 strings, or 100 of integer, 100 of strings, that is your choice. So you can say that in arrays, we can store a bunch of values together. So now let me show you with a practical example. So to create an array, first of all, you have to declare the data type. So now for the first example, I'm going to write string. So you will write here string. Now, the first thing we write here string. After that, we have to write this square bracket to tell our compiler that we are going to deal with the array. So it will create an array for us. So after that, you have to create a variable. So for the variable, for example, I can give my name as a Umair. And after that, you have to put these two curly brackets, and you can close it with semicolon. So within these two curly brackets, you can specify, you can write your values. So now as you can see that here I already defined the data type, that is string. So I can put the multiple values, but that multiple values should be string. So one thing I want to clear here that if you are dealing with a string, then you can enter the values just as a string. So in an array, the data type must be the same. For example, if I am going to write an integer, then I can just write the integers. So within that integer array, I cannot put the character, I cannot put the strings. So if you are dealing with a string, then just you have to put the values that are related to the string. So for example, I write here Umair, and within this Umair, I can write here the names, whatever you want. For example, Ali. Now the second name is Usman. And the third name is related to John, and fifth name is related to Helen. So here I have created an array, and within that array, as you can see that I have declared 4 strings. So that is the benefit of using the array. So as you can see here, I have written the 4 strings here. Now how can you access that variables? I mean that how can you print out them in a console? So for that one, so first of all, I'm going to write here system out this line. So if you want to get the value, now the first thing is that the first value is considered as the index 0. So in the array, actually when you are storing some value, that value will be stored in a memory with some indexes. So the first value will always considered as the 0 index. The index is 0. Now this second value index is 1, this value index is 2, and this value index is 4. So when you are dealing with array, please must remember one thing, that the starting index should always be 0. So you cannot do it 1 because arrays will start from 0. Now if I want to access the value of Umair at index 0, so I will write here Umair. After that I will use this square bracket. Within this square bracket I will write here the index, which index you want to get. Now in the Umair array I want to get the 0 index value. Now let me execute this one. So as you can see here, Ali is written. Now I can change it also. For example, if I want to access the index, third index, what is the value in the third index? Now as you can see here, this one is 0, this one is 1, this one is 2, and this one is 3. This one is third index. So when I write here 3, it will give me Helen. So as you can see here, it is written as Helen. Now one important thing is that, as you can see, I put this square bracket to tell my compiler that we are going to deal with arrays. So you can also put this square bracket to here also. That is your choice. It will not give you an error. But the good way is to write this one here. So now here I have shown you the things, and now let me give you one more example. I can remove this one, and now we will deal with an integers. How can we like you can say specify the integers? So I can write here integer. After that I will create an array here, and I can give a name. For example, it is number. So within this number, so now here, now I am dealing with an integer, so I don't need to put any single quoted commas or double quoted commas. So here I will put the values 1, 2, 3, 4, for example 9, 5. So here within this array, as you can see, I have entered this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the values are starting from 0 to 5. So in other words, you can say that we entered the 6 values here if we started from 1, but the index should always start from 0. So here we have entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have entered the 6 values. Now one more method is if you want to access the elements. So how can you access? The previously we just access the one value with a index. So if you want to access the all values of the array, for that purpose you have to use for loop. And in Java there are two loops. One is for loop and one is for each loop. So either you can use here for each loop, or either you can use here for loop. That is your choice, and I will show you the both examples here. First of all, let's start with a for loop. Here I use for. After that I will use here integer int. I will create an integer that is I is equal to 0. Now why I use here 0? Because our array index will always start from 0. That's why I use here 0. I is equal to 0. Then I will say I is less than. Now how many values I entered here if I count from 0? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I write here 5 values. So I will say here I is equal to 0, I is less than 6, I plus plus. So I use here this structure. Now within this structure I will use here system out, and here I will use number, and after that I will put this square bracket, and within this square bracket I will use this I. Now let me execute this one and then I will explain you. Now as you can see, we get the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 9 in the console. Now how this loop runs, and so now as you can see, whenever execution will start from I is equal to 0, so the 0 index is 1. Then it will check this condition, is I less than 6? Yes, I is less than 6. Then it will print this statement, and within this statement I write here number, that is my variable, and here I specify that that variable is a array, and within that array I use here I. Now what it means, now the value of I is 0, as you can see here I 0, so it will get the 0 index, so it will print the 0 index. After that it will come to here and it will increment I. Now our I will become 2. Sorry, the I will become 1. Previously it was 0, it will become 1. So here as you can see, instead of 0, now in the second iteration our I will become 1. So it will check here, is I less than 6? Is 1 less than 6? Yes, it is less than 6. So then what will happen here, it will come to here and it will print the 1. Like in the number it will get the first index. Now the first index is 2, that one is 0, so that one is 1. Now the index 1, it will print 2 here, as you can see here 2 is written. Now again when the loop will run, so then it will increment this one, and now previously it was 1, now it will become 2. Now again here the loop will come and it will become 2. Now here it will check again this condition, is 2 less than 6? Yes, 2 is less than 6. Then it will come here, and here in the number the I value is 2, so it will get the second index, that is 3. Now as you can see that 3 is printed here. Then again it will increment this loop here, and now the loop will become 3. Now here I will be assigned, instead of 0 I will be assigned to 3, and here it will check, is 3 less than 6? Yes, it is less than 6. Then it will come to here in the I. Now the value is 3, so it will get the third index, that is 4. Similar like this, then again this condition will run, it will execute, the I value will become 4. Here instead of 0 it will be 4. It will check 4 is less than 6. Yes, 4 is less than 6. So it will come to the number I. From the number I, position means 4, so it will get the 4 index, that is 5. So it will print here the value 5. After that again it will increment this I. Now this I value become 5, as you can see 5. So here, sorry, I have a mistake here. So this value will become here 5. So it will come to here, I is equal to 0. It will check that, is 5 less than 6? Here, is 5 less than 6? Yes, it is less than 6. So it will print the value, that is fifth index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So fifth index is 9. It will print the 9 in the console bar, as you can see. Then it will again come to I++. It will increment the index of the I. Now I index will become 6. Again it will go to here. Now I will become 6, and it will check, is 6 less than 6? No. It means that the condition is false, so it will not print this statement. Now execution will stop. So now one more thing I also tell you, that we can also use for each loop. And what is for each loop? So in the for each loop the structure is like this. You will write here for each loop. After that, within these two parentheses, you will use this colon, and after that you will use this. So this one is the structure of for each loop, and I will suggest you to use for each loop when you are dealing with the arrays. Now within this side, after this colon, on the right hand side you will write the variable name in which you store the values. So we store the values number. As you can see, I write here number. So in the left side, before this colon, we will create an integer again, one integer, and we can give the name. Sorry, this one. Yes, integer, we can give the name. For example, I write here num. Now within this for each loop we will write the system out print statement, and we can write here num. Now let me execute this one and I will show you, and let me change some value here so that, okay. Now when I run this one, as you can see, the result is same. For loop and for each loop the result is same. Now how this execution will stop? Actually, in the previously, you can say we write the for loop in which we like write the index, then we increment every time. That was a little bit complex structure. So what gonna happen whenever execution will stop? So you can say number. This for each loop is beneficial because we don't need to specify any index number here. So it will automatically iterate every time from the like you can say array. When the array will be finished, the value, we get all the values. When the array will finish, it will execute our program. So you can say that our program will be finished. So how this number? So this number, as you can see, from this number, when the first iteration will start, it will get the number, this 0 index from the number, and it will store that one to a number. And as you can see here, we are printing this number for the first iteration. When second iteration will come, in the number, as you can see, the value is 2. That value will be assigned to this number, and then this value will be printed here. Similar for the third iteration, fourth iteration, fifth iteration. For example, now this one is the last iteration. So we will write here number, this number, the last value is 10. It will get the value, it will pass that value to this number, and the answer is here, as you can see. So you can say that for each loop is more beneficial than for loop. And now we have already done how can we write strings, how can we write the integers. And now let me show you one more method. How can we write the characters? So you can also write floats and something into like double long also, but let me show you the character. So here we write this character. So I can write here the character will be, for example, ch, and I will tell that it is an array. So whatever structure you want to write, that is up to you. You can place this square bracket to here after the character or after the ch, it is up to you. So for the character, as you know, we write here just single quoted commas, a, for example, this one is b, this one is c, and sorry, here I have to use this comma, and this one is d. So actually the values are up to you, how many times the values you want to enter. The value can be like 100 times or something data, that is your choice. So I'm just writing a small amount of data, just for example 0 1 2 3, 3 digits I am entering. That is up to you how many digits you want to enter. So for this one, actually I will use here again for each loop, and for the for each loop again. Now as you can see, this time we are dealing with the characters, right? So for the characters here, first one I will write the variable name, that is ch, and now this side I will write here character, and here I will write, for example, nm. So you can suppose. Now why I write here character? Because we declare the array with character type, that is the data type is character. So again we will pass from this value to this value as a character. So again I will write here system out, and I will write my variable name, that is num. Now let me execute this one, and you will see the value is a, b, c, or d, the same thing. So if you want to use also for loop instead of this for each loop, you can use the same structure that I show you some time ago.
So guys, that's it for today. If you like the video, subscribe my channel, write your comments, give your opinion and share it with your friends. See you in the next video with the new topic. Take care.